super deep into Fearless yet, but with how heavily the jungle pool has been hit, I imagine we will see something a little bit different here.
Yeah, I mean, we still have Pop 9's Rek'Sai, which maybe he wants to bring out now. We'll have to see if that's going to be the call, but definitely getting deeper and deeper into the champion picks for those junglers specifically, whereas, like, everyone else kind of just had a field day. They're happy enough to continue playing. I wonder if we do get, like, the Camille focus here, though, for ShiauC, because I do think, like, having that kind of roaming support in the early game is the best look for real of DCG.
This is the latest we've gone into a series thus far in MSI, I believe, without seeing the Camille. It's almost always been game 1. It was game 2 in our first series of the day just because it was banned in game 1 in the second phase. But that's going to be 5 jungle bans. So there you go. 9 jungle
Jace as well.
Jace also, yeah. So say 10 jungle bans at this point in the series. Immediate Orianna pickup was nerfed on this patch, but just a bit of base health and a bit of flat damage on the ulti. Ulti scaling actually went up. So the later we go, the more potential is for this, you know, big shockwave kind of combo.
Yeah, I think maybe just going towards, as you say, that kind of wombo combo style, maybe the best bet here for real of DCG, because they just like having those moments where you can maybe bring back a game from the brink, have that big turnaround play, could be the call, because Team Liquid have just been able to outpace them in a lot of the maps. Maybe team fighting is where you could try and land, but with QUID going back towards the Viktor, decent into the Orianna thanks to that range, and with the nerfs towards Orianna's laning specifically, can do relatively well there.
Yeah, QUID for 50% win rate on the Viktor, but I believe his most recent performances were pretty solid ones. Now, I will say that because we're seeing the Viktor, I think it's going to be a bit of a slower, more respectful game of League of Legends from TL, despite the fact that they're 2-0 up. Clearly still don't want to underestimate their opponents here. And that right there is a Lucian. And I'm going to be clear right now. If you've only been watching TL at this tournament or only this year, you might be skeptical about Yeon's Lucian. But in 2024, we witnessed this man do what no Western AD carry has ever done in the history of the game, and it was play a good Lucian Nami game alongside CoreJJ. Now, Imperial Mandate has been effectively removed from Nami's potential pool of items, but I got a lot of faith in Yeon when it comes to this champion, even despite a pretty abysmal year thus far, and I'm really hoping that this is a pop-off from him to send a message to a KC who are waiting tomorrow for their opposition. However, the cost of picking this Lucian is giving up a Wukong in a very heavily, chipped away at pool of jungle champions, as well as a Camille, which has been incredibly strong, Dagda.
Especially if you can try to focus down like the Melio in the early stages, or even just play hyper-aggressive. I think it makes it a little bit more difficult for Yeon and CoreJJ to really get that control that the Lucian wants over the lane. So I like what we're seeing from DCG, including the Wukong, because oftentimes you kind of get like the Viktor Wukong combo for that zone control and the follow-up with that gravity well, but not going to be the case here. I think DCG setting up for a very strong wombo that we were talking about.
Production just uploaded a stat, and I didn't understand why, but after reading it, I do. Fun fact, HongSuo is 6'7" on Orianna. Hand motion. Thank you, production. Helpful as always. Of course, Renekton now locked in, pretty stable topside. We haven't seen any Camille top. I wouldn't really expect to see her up there. But I do like, Morgan has just been super good on the top side of the map, so just blind picking him something stable does seem like an excellent angle, and we'll see what Core wants to pick up to go alongside the Lucian. I imagine, based on the first series today, we will see the Melio banned away.
Yeah. But that's the thing, right? Like, if you end up taking away a lot of these picks, I am curious what you want to try and go for. I think obviously Lucian got changed a while ago, where he's less limited to just going with the enchanters alongside him, but definitely he is significantly stronger with those enchanters beside him. And as you say, the Melio, kind of the creme de la creme, Nami disappearing a little bit thanks to changes to Imperial Mandate. But I am not entirely certain what they do want to try and go for, because I do think we will get the Melio ban alongside the Braum here.
And Braum, I think just generally, obviously one of the kind of the really old school Lucian pairings, but really easy to proc and concussive blows. Nice alongside the Renekton. Really good against compositions that want to dive you. Fantastic disengage support, fantastic at blocking follow-up damage with that unbreakable shield. But the Ezreal trying to limit the mobile options for bot lane as well as a potential top lane counter to the Renekton. So split bans here from Team Liquid in terms of what they're trying to focus.
Yeah, I still think you have options like with the Alistar maybe for CoreJJ if you really want to try and just play keep away from the Camille. Like, just accept that you are going to unfortunately lose out on that bottom side of the map, but that's not exactly what you want with the Lucian either when you lock this in, and Alistar can make it a little bit more difficult for you to try and play to the strengths in the mid game, but at least you can try and match some of the early Roman. Shyvana was over yesterday, is something that Josedeodo has in his champion pool, but checking through a few options here.
What is the option going to be? Okay. They picked the Viktor and the Renekton so that the rest of the map could cook. Because, my God, it's a Shyvana. Oh,
yeah.
I don't. Why is that noise? Shyvana is also very cool, actually, in the grand scheme of things. But I really thought we were getting a Zac.
I mean, I think Zac will be insane. Like, yes, you do get to play with the Lucian on that mid wave with the Zac really well because of the effective leap range, but that is definitely some cooking against this composition on the opposite side.
And it is. Of course, Shyvana was hit on 26-10. We played on 26-9? I can't remember what we played.
We played 26-10.
Yeah, so we already played this.
We're 26-11.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Trying to keep up. A lot of times we're synced in terms of those regional patches, but so Shyvana has not been hit since we last saw her. She was last touched down a little bit. We'll see how good she can be in the context of these drafts, as we have the Jax now locked in to go toe-to-toe with that Renekton and a potential Draven.
This would be a statement, but I like the Kalista as well.
Yeah, both these.
Yeah, just hyper-aggressive bot lanes. I think a great call for DCG, especially when you've already got like hyper dive. The ability for ShiauC to really full send and have that safety with the Kalista can help quite a lot here.
Has played the Kalista once before domestically, did not win the game, but hoping to turn that around here today, and wants to fight fire with fire. Or debating on what the option is. There's some core fans out in the audience.
Yeah, it does have a all-time decent win rate on the Kalista at 62.5%, so still something that he is very comfortable on, even if we don't see it from a huge amount this year. But oh, interesting. Okay.
I like it. Obviously, Kalista and Renata, the pairing that we know, kind of both halves of the duo have really good ways to keep each other safe, keep each other alive and fighting. But the hostile takeover against this composition is incredibly, incredibly potent. And Kalista, and Renata, one of the few range support options that I think has good tools to disrupt the Camille early, right? The handshake can be really, really strong in a 2v2.
Yeah, it's still going to be a difficult matchup in the early stages, though, because you just have so much all-in potential in that bottom side of the map, especially if Pop 9 shows up. But as you start to move on, then I think you give Yeon a lot of ways to try and play aggressive on that mid wave with this Renata. And also, as you say, like it does end up a little awkward, just because you kind of then hyper rely on the all-in potential from DCG to start a fight, or that hostile takeover to kind of catch people out. But I do think when you're looking at a very heavy dive composition on the other side, you will get value at some stage from this Renata.
That you will. And I think this is one thing that I really like about the picks that Team Liquid have assembled, right? In the Renata, in the Viktor, and in the Shyvana. Really good at punishing these big dive options. One of the biggest issues that Shyvana has, whether it's pre or post rework, is sticking to enemy champions, especially without ultimate. But when they're coming to you, the amount of damage this champion can unleash is so damn high. And it's something that's going to be tricky for them to navigate, because while we've seen so many Camille's get away with these quick picks, these quick engages, it's a lot harder against the composition that TL have put together, at least when they're stacked up.
Yeah, I do think, though, for DCG, this draft is their best way to try and get ahead in the early stages, right? Like, you have Flauren you can try and play through. CoreJJ can match the roams, but he is very susceptible to just becoming the target of some of these plays if you try and match ShiauC on some of them. So I think this is where, if I'm DCG, hyper aggression in the early stage, really try and blow up in this game early is exactly what you're looking for. Even having the exhaust on Feng is really strong against the Lucian, especially if he ever dashes in, you immediately exhaust, and you can hard win that trade against the Lucian.
And of course, when we talk about DCG, we talk about combined kills per minute. I'll hold that so we can take a look at all of these beautiful, beautiful skins. So the question really is, with these two compositions, with these two drafts, are we going to see that same breakneck pace of game? And for DCG, yes, we most certainly are. That's an immediate exhaust at the bottom lane. Yeon, the spears are already stacking. This Lucian is in trouble, and he is dead. He is in a body bag. TL already sent packing in the early stages. That's a devastating level 1.
Yeah, point in case right there. Hyper aggressive in the summoner spell choices here from DCG, and they make it work. Immediate kill, great control, and you're going to be able to go back and pick up a nice early longsword for yourself as well for Feng in this bottom lane is Josedeodo. Considering evade, but will be spotted.
Yep, not quite sure. Looks like he did manage to evade that early ward and will be back to his red buff. No, excuse me, that is the question mark thing. So he was spotted. Well highlighted, observers, just to showcase how important that early vision has been. ShiauC now roaming potentially into the jungle or just into the mid lane. DCG, this is their pace of the game. This is their tempo, and I don't know if TL are ready for it. QUID forced to flash in the mid lane. Good reaction, but losing that summoner is just going to make it that much harder on the next go-around.
No, this is well orchestrated by DCG. Bot lane summoner spell is gone. Mid lane summoner spell is gone. Gives you a lot to work with here as Pop9 going to start to clear down towards his bottom side. I expect it won't be in the next couple of minutes that we really see much here because Pop9 will need to start clearing out kind of his own top side because we had that little bit of a split map. But still, I think DCG will be able to punish really effectively over the next coming moments.
Take a look back at this all, and remember, Kalista has exhaust, and that is going to be a really big difference in this fight.
Yeah, I think a little bit of a mistake there from CoreJJ trying to take the space. You're happy to just kind of clear out the wave and then force DCG to play back, but with Halo Blades and this Kalista level 1, plus the exhaust and ignite, you just really don't have the damage to match, especially as a Lucian in those early stages.
Yeah, the offensive summoner spells, the exhaust ignite, Halo Blades, everything is just so favored for the side of DCG, but now with a few more levels under their belt and a bit more backup on the rest of the map, TL playing with confidence here in the bottom lane. Feng, though, going to be in trouble, and that's Josedeodo grabbing the kill. Nice response after a pretty tragic first blood here from TL.
Yeah, the fact that you're able to punish the double summoner spell is gone on DCG is massive. I really thought it would actually be Pop9 who was able to get down to that bottom side first, but now CoreJJ being a bit of annoyance.
Auto. That's ruthless. Oh, one more. Core. It might be giving his life for this decision. Magic damage shield, though, means Yeon just gets the free hit. They did not keep track of the Lucian.
Wait,
Feng's
but that's a lot of minions.
That is a lot of minions. Feng warring this down. They need to get in the brush, but the vision is already there. Q.
Ooh.
A few more autos. He's fine. 60 HP, 50 HP, 40 HP.
Yeah, I thought Feng might have actually committed to that with the full wave hitting, but instead just decides to back away. Still cautious of the barrier that Yeon had available. So ends up kind of calling that one, I feel like, correctly, but definitely a tight one as Pop9 spots out Josedeodo in this top side.
Trying to invade. Will not steal it away. Josedeodo clean on the smites once again. And I got to say, despite, I was really worried that that level 1 would spell doom for TL in all of this early game, but they recovered excellently with these plays in the bottom side. ShiauC, though, looking to make a play of his own here in mid lane. Again, QUID lost his flash in the previous fight, the previous gank, but Core is here to cover. Shot wall dive, Core reads it perfectly. Nice reset. Handshake not going to amount to too much, but importantly, QUID is to walk away with his life.
Yeah, it has been a little bit of a weird one for Pop9 though, because he's only now clearing out his top side, because he ended up taking like the top side jungle initially and then moving back in over to protect his bottom side, but then had to go into the bot lane to try and cover for it, and is now only kind of just gone back into this top half. So he ends up very far behind when he comes towards the CS, because it's just been an easier clear cycle for Josedeodo, who even managed to steal away one of those camps in the get-go as well. So even though it's kind of looked decent for DCG in the early stages, Pop9 is very much lagging when it comes towards the jungle matchup.
That he is. And it really was just that first level 1 play that went in their favor, as well as that mid lane gank. But not being able to follow up, not being able to punish the lack of flash in mid lane for QUID does mean that that advantage is kind of shrunk away. You look at the top side, top lane and jungle, both wildly far ahead of their respective opposition. And Yeon, despite that big hiccup in the all-in, the rest of his team supported him in punishing those missing summoners. And you know, Camille can really be this powerhouse if she gets going, but if she falls too far behind, really quickly runs out of value.
But even if you just confine her to lane, that's a win. And that's exactly what Team Liquid are doing now. Using that push they have, they're going to start to look for this Krug, or this Gromp even.
Smite fight round 2. Josedeodo once again wins. This time because Pop9 doesn't have Smite. ShiauC's now in trouble. Josedeodo gets it with the fireball. Yeon maybe a little bit frustrated. The flash out. Flash for flash traded. Of course, Yeon losing his in exchange for Pop9's, but right now, Team Liquid just running the map.
And this is exactly what you want to do. As I was saying, if you can confine ShiauC to lane, the ability for this Camille to really impact the game is limited. And then when you get to that later portion, just doesn't quite have that same level of oomph. As Feng now taking good damage from this Lucian. And with the pressure on bottom side, you're getting kills, you're getting dragons, you're just really shutting down what was the strong point of the map for DCG.
And now a full level advantage for Yeon over Hong, and a full level advantage for Josedeodo. Almost a full level advantage topside on top of the gold that they've been building out. But ShiauC now making that play mid lane. Excellent shockwave. QUID burning down just a little bit. DCG finally getting something back for themselves.
QUID trying to hover down towards the bottom side of the lane because I believe they spot a pop 9 on the top side.
Going in, exhaust is on Yeon. Coling now coming out, willing to give his life there. Doesn't die, importantly, before the kill comes through. So the reset from Core doesn't keep him standing.
ShiauC has flash as well. CoreJJ does not, so looks like it should be a kill for the Camille here as well.
Level 3 to level 4, Core. It's barely enough mana, not gonna be enough vertibility. ShiauC will pick up one more. Yeon still holding a massive gold lead, but TLAW getting a little bit sloppy.
Still, as you say, you lose that wave to the tower, that gold lead is still going to be going in favor of Yeon. Like, you're barely level 5 to 6.5 for Yeon, a 1.2k gold lead. And Morgan threatening Flauren here.
Morgan really is poking and prodding, slowly chipping away at the turret, continuing to extend a CS and tower plate advantage. Flauren really needs a few more items under his belt. Josedeodo starting. Again, the more he's able to take down these neutral camps, etc., he's going to get stack up on the scale mail, the Shyvana passive, just to get him tankier and tankier.
CoreJJ now matching a lot of ShiauC's movements towards this mid lane as well, realizing that he kind of needs to make sure that ShiauC isn't operating around this mid lane again. It is hard when HongSuo doesn't have the ultimate available, but CoreJJ just needs to keep track. Yeah, just pulling off of that comp on the top side, making sure that he's able to play on the mid. And again, Team Liquid just feel like they're one step ahead. It's DCG trying desperately to make something happen, to try and play their style of game, but unfortunately just can't get their footing at this international stage.
No, they cannot. Team Liquid scrapping better and better against this DCG lineup. Some hiccups here and there, but not so comfortable at this point in the game. ShiauC on the way down, but spotted out by this control ward. Core still waiting off to the side.
And I think for Team Liquid, like, having a performance like this really does kind of help you out, because again, going to be going against KC tomorrow, just getting that confidence back after the T1 3-0 them, I think is going to be massive for them, because they played fantastic and had some good showings against T1 as well. But just having the confidence and the control that they have had all series long speaks to what this team is capable of achieving.
Yeah, and it's not just that it will be an elimination match, but it's the first, hopefully not only, NA-EU matchup, right? Which just means the stakes are so much higher for all the players involved and for the fans at home. Of course, TL haven't closed this one out yet, but they're just in such a favorable position. Need to see how TL look to extend this lead or what they go for next. Josedeodo has been fantastic this game, participating in getting 3 of the 5 kills. Shyvana, who starts the snowball, just gets so ungodly tanky for free.
Yeah, and I think like himself and CoreJJ have been doing such a good job so far in this tournament. Like, they were excellent yesterday, even though they couldn't pick up the win. Like, CoreJJ's Nautilus, I thought, was superb in that game too. And then Josedeodo's Poppy really like finding key moments to set themselves up for what was a very hard-fought game too against T1. And I think this has kind of become the core focus for them now, is can they just continue to play through this strong jungle support?
Yeah, and you mentioned the Poppy, but also the Wukong in game 1, right? 83.3 kill participation. There really wasn't anything that happened on the map without this man being involved. You see in the mid lane. Ulti laid down there, Team Liquid setting up on the bottom side.
You can see DCG getting a little antsy the second that Team Liquid disappear, because Josedeodo on the way.
Hopefully so. ShiauC still relatively comfortable as long as he's got the hook shot. Keep him safe. Top lane matchup getting a little bit harder now that Flauren has a few more items under his belt. That's the Dragon's Descent immediately into the Molten Breath. The Shockwave gets a little bit of space for HongSuo. He's trying to sidestep, but there's just simply too much aimed in his direction. He can't outmaneuver that. Another kill going in TL's favor.
Yeah, the Fear and the Twin Bite doing so much work in that fight, making sure they're able to pick that one up, and Josedeodo doing a good job of tanking turret to enable QUID. Pick after pick. This is kind of starting to slip away from DCG. Still, A 2.5k gold lead for Team Liquid. Can this Wukong do something to change that?
Spotted on the vision. Good diligence from TL. Even if they're winning out in the 2v2, to respect the potential of someone else getting involved, or have they respected Core? Excellent handshake to deny the engage. Pop9 now going to go in. Flash forward to get the Cyclone going. That's the ulti across the entire team. Hostile takeover doing a lot of work as Yeon tries to call his way through the front line. Needs the kill, needs the reset, but cannot quite get it. Team Liquid overconfident. They saw Pop9 there, but they thought they could outplay.
Yeah, they thought a handshake would be enough, but ShiauC getting the... oh, hang on,
Morgan going all in. That's the Dominus use traded for Jax's ultimate as Flauren just tries to hold on. Morgan, does he want to tank the tower? The answer is yes, but Flauren trying to get tricky. That's the counter-strike. It doesn't matter when he's getting sliced and diced.
The Jax turns into mincemeat in the top side. Morgan getting a solo kill. And speaking of more plays actually happening, QUID.
Going mid. No shockwave available. It means QUID is able to walk away. He wants to get something back on a ShiauC. Josedeodo running in, but without the Dragon's Descent. Doesn't have that reliable gap close. It's still a big lead for Team Liquid, but credit to DCG. They are always finding these angles to get kills.
Yeah, still, I wanted to give a shout out to Morgan there because I think he's also someone who's really stepped up. Like, we talked about domestically, him being much more the tank player, not really finding those success on the carries, but against Doran yesterday, he was bringing out the spice with things like the Yasuo, way more of these carries. Now we're seeing it again today against Flauren, who, like, I think people won't realize just how impactful he has been as a top laner.
Sure.
Domestically, like, it has been so much conversation, been potentially being one of the best players, if not the best player in the region. But unfortunately has not been able to show his Team Liquid move into this bottom side and want to punish the bottom lane.
If they do, Josedeodo with the Dragon's Descent immediately going to jump onto ShiauC to stop any potential playmaking. Attack sweep not enough, as ShiauC is going to run it off a little bit more. How? How is he not dead, Team Liquid? So many times this series finding their opponents on the brink of death. Sub 100 HP before he popped the pot.
But again, it's more lost for Feng. He's going to try and re-enter into this bottom lane. Has the support of the jungle. So TL, I think rightfully going to give up that space, but still getting more and more of this structure's plates is going to be very nice for the Team Liquid bot lane.
Yeah, just extending the gold lead. Yeon does now have access to the flash as Morgan and Flauren just continue to trade blows. But ShiauC now, he's level 6. 8 seconds away from the ultimate being back available. Sundered Sky finally here alongside the Blood Song. This is one powerful Camille. Core, 7 seconds on the hostile takeover. Incredibly small window of timing. If they go right now, it is incredibly favorable for DCG. DCG getting pushed back. Team Liquid respecting it. Heal popped. Cyclone popped as well. And Morgan starting to lose out in the 1v1. Rage stacking, not able to grab that healing, but Josedeodo is here. That's the Ruthless Predator to find the stun. It's a split fight, but Team Liquid just backing away in the bottom lane. Flauren hoping to find the kill. The ward not quite there in time. Flauren taken down. Josedeodo taking a bite out of DCG's top laner is now Yeon looking for a little bit more. That's the hostile takeover. Berserk. Yeon getting a little bit more space, free to dash back into ShiauC. Nice sidestep, but it's Core who's been caught out in the meantime. Pop9 overcommitting though. They've got the tower standing behind them. QUID is here as well. Feng running, flash over the wall. It doesn't matter. Piercingly lit by Yeon is Pop9 desperately now trying to retreat. DCG overstaying their welcome in this bottom lane. QUID dropping the ulti, tries to go for the clone trick, but TL not falling for it.
TL, they TP in, they outplay on the bottom side. They get the kill top as well. They just blew this game open. What was kind of a 2k gold lead suddenly ballooned to a 6,000 gold lead for Team Liquid.
That is the problem when the enemy team has that slight lead and you take these big aggressive fights. They start to farm up. They get these objectives on top of it. ShiauC. We saw Busio steal something, so you know it's possible. Unlikely, but definitely possible. ShiauC running for his life. Yeon getting stronger and stronger. 1.5 items. Not too far ahead of Feng in terms of full item completions, but in terms of raw gold value, the items he's picked up, wildly far ahead. Josedeodo. Pretty big diffy in the jiffy here, Mr. Dagda.
Yeah.
Pop9 making some plays happen, but that bot play going awry just feels like it might spell the end.
Yeah. I mean, it's great to see Josedeodo back at the main stage, but we get to see this play as I thought maybe with actually ShiauC. Oh, he did get clipped by it. I thought he'd gone past the hostile takeover, but there's just no follow-up. You don't have the Wukong there with that ultimate. So Team Liquid, that knowing that threat isn't there, happy to just play forward. The double tap on the Feng just enough as well. And Pop9 tried to get something back on the CoreJJ, but there's just nothing. Again, I think trying to go for that play without the Wukong ultimate just makes it that little bit lackluster.
That it does, as Josedeodo is about to find Pop9 in his jungle. Pop9 does not win this 1v1, but he may be able to escape with his life, although the odds of that are getting lower and lower as he's being chased back into Team Liquid's base. Yeon looking for the blast cone to follow him over the wall.
Problem is this isn't ARAM. There is no cannon to get you out of this one.
But if there was, this would have been an escape, most certainly. Instead, he'll be donating a kill to Yeon, who's happy to have the additional gold.
Yeah, and he's already at base, so gets to spend it immediately. Efficiency.
There you go.
Amazing for Yeon.
Yeon will remember this is the day where he most certainly caught Captain Jack Sparrow. We can take a look here at the Coinbase gold grind. There's a lot of kill money in favor of Mr. Josedeodo, and also a pretty decent lead in terms of jungle camps picked up.
Okay, CoreJJ.
Oh.
I think HongSuo is about to die.
I would say that he is all on his lonesome here in the bottom lane. Does get a 3-man shockwave, but the fear is there just to stop any further follow-up, and Team Liquid will grab another.
Yeah, and I think like this is kind of where we're seeing again, like DCG just never in position to like look for a cross map, look for something in response. It's always as they're on reset that these players from Team Liquid come across, and it is rather unfortunate because again Team Liquid then get to reset. They're going to push out these waves. You got Dragon that's about to spawn, so they're going to pick that one up. A third Dragon and potential for an Infernal Soul. Unfortunately for DCG, it looks like their tournament might be coming to a close fairly soon.
That does. Difficult to find that avenue for a comeback. ShiauC, the only individual member with a gold lead, and my gosh, the win probability, powered by AWS, showing us a pretty clear picture. Kind of repeating what you already said yourself, but Morgan might be in trouble. Might win the game, but he might lose his life in the process. DCG sending 4 members to the top lane, and they will get their man. They will lose a Drake, they will lose a tower, and maybe another tower, but they got their kill, and they're going to grab that objective bounty.
So at least it's something for DCG, but yeah, as you say, the gold lead still fairly sizable for Team Liquid, especially as they take that tier 2 in the bottom lane. And now you're kind of looking at, okay, a minute until the Baron. You have decent Baron take as well for Team Liquid. So one mistake from DCG where someone gets caught can immediately be that purple worm.
Absolutely can. Still that minute left. So we'll see how soon that mistake comes out. ShiauC. Right face first to CoreJJ. Does get the ward down. Core is going to immediately clear it. Nice little chunk of damage from the attack plus dissonance. Playing a little bit fast and loose here. Does a lot of damage. 2.5 items.
Yeah, 2.5 items, barrier and flash.
Pulling.
I think he can very well play up on this.
Josedeodo on the side. Maybe looking for the Dragon's Descent angle. DCG grouped up, but it's split pressure. You can see Morgan debating if he wants to come to the mid lane. In the top lane, though, QUID already pushing in. They're going to look to start chunking away at that.
I mean,
tower.
it's already
okay.
chunked,
Well, chunking away. It was
chip. Chunk to chip.
You'd kind of just look at it sideways and it would die. Kind of, you know, little breath onto it is now ShiauC thrown forward. Immediate ulti. Flauren looking to follow up, but the hostile takeovers there. ShiauC's just getting beaten down by his own top laner. Core hoping to hold on, but he's not able to get the reset in time. Yeon exhausted, but still finding a double.
Double kill in that play. Jumping on to CoreJJ. Sure, he's squishier, but that just means Yeon has all the time he needs to dish out the damage, and there we go. Immediate Baron turn with the picks.
QUID walking in, looking to solo Pop9. Proto belt forward. Ulti from the clone, going to delay QUID there. As there's now a TP coming in the mid lane as well. That's going to be Flauren. But he's not going to be able to do anything here. So it will just be Team Liquid picking up the big purple worm, further extending that lead as QUID now looks to go in, contest Pop9, who really has no business being on that kill. Josedeodo going over to the full breath. He's looking for a bit more. Pop9, they're looking to save their jungler. They will get their jungler out.
Just about. Pop9. That was a close one.
Yeah, it's all clouds, and we're really grasping for the silver linings at this point. As ShiauC goes in at the same time the shockwave comes out, so an easy flash for QUID. Flauren going in for a bit more. Morgan struggling a little bit in this 1v1 match as he's gotten further into the game, but Flauren absolutely cannot match QUID right now. He just does a ton of damage. Counter-strike there, flash away.
The burn.
Hextech Ray. And Team Liquid gonna break open the base. We'll see if they want to push for an end, as Yeon is getting exceptionally low. Bang. Feng.
Wants a static shiv, does get a bit of work done. And CoreJJ now kind of needs help as well.
So, sidestep with a proto belt to get away from the handshake. CoreJJ Getting lower, will fall. There's going to be no kill reset here, so a nice pick to at least slow the Baron advance from the side of DCG.
Yeah, a bit of a whoopsie there from Team Liquid. Like, Feng managing to get Yeon off that mid lane tower and then being able to collapse onto the top side. So Team Liquid overstaying their welcome a bit. Still, though, I mean, you get to keep this Red Bull Baron power play going until that potential soul, which makes it really difficult for DCG to try and answer.
ShiauC running. Morgan gonna walk in here anyway. All right, unconcerned. Does have a pretty decent item advantage. We gotta stop, guys. We gotta stop running graphs.
Yeah, we're kind of ahead of schedule on this one.
We get it. Team Liquid is winning. Stop bringing up the stats. It's not. The people understand. We get it. It's all blue.
Yeah. Unless we find out who's going to be 6-7 after this game and one of these champions.
That's true. Morgan in trouble now. It's just going to get picked off here. Really no way out of this one. I take it back. There's always a way out of this one. Morgan has lived. There is a giant dragon running at 3 members of DCG, and Morgan looking for a bit of revenge against Flauren. Feng getting completely and totally cold. Not even ShiauC is going to be able to get away. Gravity field is there. Yeon dominating the victory march, coming in for Team Liquid.
Team Liquid just styling on them now. Yeon with the flash, managing to sidestep ShiauC. And DCG, they got 2 members out on the map, but their towers are being absolutely torn through in this mid lane, or top lane.
Their top side recalling, hoping to mount one last desperate stand. The final moments of their MSI run. Shockwave onto 2. Flauren immediately responding. The Counter-Strike only connecting on the 1 and Core, living for an extra second. The reset is there, but he is going to die. Not able to find the kill to keep Core standing, so Team Liquid going to settle for the inhibitor and just back off.
But that's one dead now with that soul that we were talking about, so maybe DCG, you can already see the pings kind of immediately rush that one down. So might have just bought themselves a little bit of time.
That they have. Another lease on life. Again, it is, or probably would be, one of the most insane comebacks of all time if DCG could win this. And for their sake, I want it, but it just feels impossible. This Drake is not enough to put them anywhere near close in this game in terms of overall control. But they will grab it. They will slow down the soul. They have stalled out the Baron. So yes, there's an inhibitor down, but they've at least bought themselves a bit of time.
Yeah, just a little kind of like, oh, wait a second.
Going in.
I don't know about that one.
I know about that one. That was not it. QUID, quick backstep. They're going all in on QUID now, who's just dropped his ult. Heal coming in from their redemption. Josedeodo comes over the wall, and they're all dying. They're going out on their terms, Rob. No one will ever say DCG did not go out fighting.
Sometimes you just kind of got to dial back the fighting, but that just isn't in the DNA of this team. It is Relove Deep Cross Gaming, unfortunately not able to pick up a win as Team Liquid swarm towards the base.
Team Liquid, eyes on the prize, looking to close out, eager for a matchup versus KC tomorrow. Core delaying the recalls. HongSuo chasing for the kill here. Likely to finish off Core, but the game's still poised to end. ShiauC finally back up. TL, a clean sweep over DCG. A nice shift of momentum after their series yesterday as they gear up to face KC tomorrow.
A strong performance from Team Liquid, as you say. Should be a very interesting series tomorrow. I mean, well earned. Like, it was a confident performance from start to finish from this team.
That it most certainly was. Fist bumps across the board. Excited to see TL tomorrow. And of course, a nice bounce back.
Yeah.
And good to see some love for TL in the house here. Obviously a very T1 dominated house in terms of fandom, but love seeing the Team Liquid fans out there. And on the opposite side, hearts out to their opposition. But for more on that series, let's send it over to our analyst desk.
I know you're seeing a lot of T1 fans out there. There's a lot of Bro Talent fans out there. Lord Morgan getting the victory here in front of the audience alongside Team Liquid over Relove Deep Cross Gaming, who will take this experience on the international stage and use it to build upon the next split over in the LCP and hope for an international win next time. But they did not have their best, while Team Liquid Alienware looked back to their best, especially in that game number 3.
Yeah, a message to Relove Deep Cross Gaming, of course. Love to them, who a lot has happened in such a short amount of time. They were in the PCS, then they qualified to the LCP. They went through 2 honestly incredible splits to be in the finals of both. And so for them to be on a stage like this, first time being on an international stage for almost all of them other than ShiauC, if I remember correctly, like, it is a ton of experience for them to look back on. And it won't be the last time we'll